Well, welcome to another episode of The Billy Ho Show. And before we get started, what I'd like to show you is this. And what this is called a cutthroat razor. And there's another one here with a bone handle. But that's very, very sharp, that edge, and you sort of got it tricked up somehow and you sort of shaved yourself with it. But this is just a bit before my time. So this would be still, I'm sure the guys in the 50s still use them, but my father used one, and he had a big strap hanging on the side in the bathroom, great big heavy strap that you sort of just sharpened the thing off before you shaved your face. But I had the one where you sort of took it a bit, you had the base, you put a blade in it, you put the other side on it, then you screwed the handle down on top of it, and away you went, which is what came after the old cutthroat. But I just remember that big strap because I got hit with it a few times for misbehaving or whatever. But the old cutthroat razor, and I guess they're called cutthroats because you got somebody shaving you with it, you're a bit worried the whole time. But anyway, that's that. So let's get on with the show. With me again is Gavin, and welcome to our little show, Gavin.
Thank you, Bill.
And we spoke to Gavin at the Rangiora Muscle Car Show, and he had his great big monster car there, and he's got a few other cars at his home, and one of them is this Rambler. Now, what I remember about Rambler, Gavin, was the little Nash Rambler that...
Metropolitan.
Yeah, that's Metropolitan.
Yeah.
Had a sort of wheels sort of tucked underneath somehow, and it was just a little car.
Yeah.
And it came to New Zealand because you could buy them here, obviously, and they were right-hand drive, and everybody enjoyed them. And when we sort of looked at that, we didn't realise that Rambler they actually made bigger cars. One of those bigger cars is this one, the Marlin. Perhaps you'd just like to tell us. I mean, I've never seen one before, and when you said to me, "Have you seen a Marlin?" I said, "Well, in the water," but that's about it.
Yeah.
And maybe tell us the story of this.
Well, the point is they built these Marlins, and it's a full six-seater with a teardrop, which I'll show you. The windows come down, but the rear back end was fairly, sort of
sloping and had the 19...
It's actually built to compete against the Barracuda, the Plymouth Barracuda, and also the Mustang, the fastback Mustang. But it didn't work. They only made 14,682, I think it was.
So that makes it a rare car for a start.
And there's not too many left in the world, and I think there's about 5 in New Zealand at the present time.
Oh, okay.
They've just started coming in because people are starting to realise that they are a rare car. This one needs doing up. I bought it 20 odd years ago, and I found it on the side of the road in Portland, Oregon, with a sign on it. So I was driving past and I thought, boy, that's a funny looking car. So I thought I'd buy it, and I ended up buying it and bringing it back. So it's different.
Yeah, that sloping back has sort of got the last of the 1940s look about it.
Well, this is a 1965, so it was actually, as I say, it's got a V8 motor in it, but at the present time we've got a bit of distributor trouble, so we've got to fix that up. And
sure.
I drove it in Portland, Oregon. I drove it up to Vancouver in Canada, and it drove very well. Just nice big floater, and as I say, it's a teardrop, a bit different.
Sure.
It's like everything else. I like having something different. So
that's different. Just explain to me the teardrop.
Well, the teardrop is these. The windows come down,
yep.
And the back window comes down. As I say, I'm amazed they still work. But that's what the teardrop looks like. And as I say, this one needs a complete do-over,
yep.
Which it will get one day if I'm still alive.
Is there anything else you've got here that you've sort of spotted on the side of the road?
Well, I've got my Trans Ams. I've also got, there's a Riviera over there, a Cadoba, a Fury around.
No, what I'm saying is there any, while you're driving along, was there something you spotted on like this? You spotted on the side of the road and gone in and bought it?
Yeah, a Lincoln for sales there, and the Fury was another one I found with a sign on it.
Oh,
The
okay,
Buick
yeah.
Riviera had a sign on it.
Oh,
And yeah, in those days, you know, I'm talking 15, 20 years ago, American cars, you know, they couldn't sell them, and they used to have, you know, signs on the side of the road, and people used to buy them and bring them back.
wow.
And certainly, I know I was chasing barracudas, and everywhere I went, people were saying, "Oh, there was a guy from Sweden buying everything he could find in barracudas, and they were going back to Sweden." And he seemed to be obsessed with trying to buy barracudas.
Wow. So you've got a barracuda, you've got a marlin. How many other fish names are there out there?
Oh,
Sharks?
lots of them, lots of them, lots of fish names.
Yeah.
For some reason, rather, yeah.
Fair enough.
But as I say,
You've got a car down there called a Cutlass, a something Cutlass.
yeah, that's an Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Oldsmobile Cutlass. Now, somebody sitting in an office has to name these things. Let's call it a swashbuckler. Oh, no, that's a better. What about a cutlass? You know, the actual sword that actually does all the swashbuckling. Yeah. So I'm just wondering how they come up with the names.
How General Motors or Oldsmobile or picked their names, but they certainly had some different names.
Yeah, because what we're talking about here is what they call the muscle cars, aren't they? It's
Some
like
of them are muscle
two-door,
cars, yeah.
big engine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They go.
They go.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look at this Cutlass.
Okay.
Ollie. Gavin, the Cutlass, this is, well, it just looks like an ordinary American car. There's nothing...
There's nothing special about a Cutlass, although they made a two-door one, which was a more of a muscle car. This is not. This is a four-door one.
Four-door sedan.
And we're actually in the process of painting it.
Yep.
The motor's been done. A few other things have been done. The bodywork's done. So it's going to be painted up a gold metallic.
Yep.
So it's actually quite a nice car, and it drives very well. The motor is called a Rocket, a 350 Rocket motor.
Wow.
And you talk about their names. Well, they do get some funny names.
They certainly do.
And as I say, it will be okay when it's done.
I'm just commenting about the size of the bonnet. It's pretty much like everything else we've looked at. It's all bonnet.
Well, they have big bonnets, there's no doubt about it. The biggest bonnet is on that big Lincoln there.
Wow.
But I've got the bonnet off at the present time because we're doing the motor.
This little guy next door, when I say...
Oh, this is the 78 Thunderbird. I bought it from an older couple who had lost their license over in American Oregon, and it's original paint. It's actually got a 400 motor, cubic inch motor in it, which is quite good. It's got an electric moon roof. It's quite a nice car. It's only done 78,000 genuine miles.
So it's not even run in yet.
So it actually hasn't done 100. You know, this one's only done 90-odd thousand. That one's done 120, I think. So
those big V8s are hardly running.
That's right. And as I say, this is a beautiful car. The upholstery is beautiful on it. And it's all red velour. It's got electric windows, electric seats. It's quite a nice rear car.
Wow. We'll just talk about that soon as I
Okay. This is a 400 cubic inch motor. It's full factory aircon. The only thing I've replaced is the battery. And just a wee bit of painting around here just to make it look a bit tidier. Otherwise, it's all factory.
What an enormous motor. That's enormous. I mean, you could put
well, as I
that
say,
in a
most of them only come out with 351 or 352.
Oh, yep.
And some either 302. This one was a special order one with 400 cubic inch. So
wow.
It goes.
Yeah, so you put it in top gear and off you go.
It certainly goes, and as I say, it's done very rare mileage, so it's quite a good one. And the older person who did it, he's actually polished it, the gold lines off. Where he hasn't polished, like around the headlights, you can still see the gold lines.
Oh, okay.
But the rest of it, yeah, like around here and along the guards and all that. I'll just leave it like that.
Let's have a look at one of these ones outside.
Yep.
I mean, this is absolutely unusual. I mean, the big sloping over the wheel guard, mud guard at the back, the sloping window at the back, the sort of V-shaped at the back there.
Yep.
Leather, is that leather? Looks like it.
That is the leather here.
Yep, and this enormous bonnet to cover up one huge V8.
Yeah, it's a 455 cubic inch,
Good God.
400 horse. This is what they call a Buick Riviera. Boat tail is the, it's like they called it a boat tail because of the rear end.
Yep.
But it's factory, it's a beautiful upholstery on it. It just needs a wee bit of work on it.
Yeah.
It needs a paint job. I bought it back, I found it on the, one of my friends actually is a bus driver over in Portland, Oregon. And sitting up in the bus, he found it, he rang me up and he said, "You're interested in the Buick Riviera?" And I said, "What's that?" And then he said, he said, "On one of our routes he does, he said, sitting over back behind an old shed, there's a white car with a big sign on it for sale." So I said, "Well, let's go down and have a look at it." So I drove 40 miles across Portland and managed to talk to the guy and took it for a drive down the road. Came back, we did a deal. I drove it back to where I was staying and then I shipped it back to New Zealand.
And here it is.
It's a big car.
It certainly is. It absolutely certainly is.
Yeah. And as I say, it's beautiful inside. It needs a wee bit of upholstery work just on here.
Yep, yep.
Other than that, it's beautiful.
Well, this back end sort of is takes you, it's just wow. It's got the wow factor.
It has got a well factor, and as I say, done up, it'll be a beautiful car.
When I look at this 1970 something, early 70s, and then think of what the English were turning out in the early 70s, their Rovers and their Morrises and their Austins and the Americans have sort of gone to this it's just, there's no comparison really, isn't it? You've got to take your hat
they're a
off
beautiful big cruising car, they're designed to go across America, sitting it with comfort, and that's basically what they are, like a lot of the two doors, they didn't want four doors because most of the parents were just with man and his wife, designed to travel. And the boot
Mind you, the roads in England aren't all that one, a bit like
no.
sort of in and out and up and down and round and round. Right, not great big long straights. No. So what have we got next door here?
Well, this is a Chrysler Cordoba, 1975, and I actually found this at a Canby, which is a suburb of Portland, swap meet. And an old lady had it since brand new.
Wow.
And she had a sign on it for sale, and she had a stall out there. So I actually went to her and talked to her.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm interested in buying your Cordoba. And it's been pretty well looked after, a few dents all around it and all that sort of stuff.
Just come around here, Gavin.
And but other than that, it goes well. It's quite a nice little cruiser. When I find the bonnet thing around here somewhere. I haven't opened these up for a while yet.
There it is. Ta-da!
There they are. And as I say, when I talked to it about buying it, and when I got back to the site, there was 3 other guys after it too. And she was talking to me and she said, "Are you definitely going to take this car back to America, to New Zealand?" And I said, "Yes, I am." So she said, "It's yours." And the other guy said, "Oh, I'll pay more money than him." And she said, "No, I've already said it's going to go back." And I've had a couple of emails from her, "How's my car back in New Zealand?" And I said, "Well, yes, it's still here, and I haven't sold it yet." So, but it still goes well and starts okay, not bad. As I say, there's a few dents around it, but it's quite a nice car. And it's been reasonably well looked after. Like the upholstery's good, except for a few little cracks, but I managed to bring back some vinyl for it to fix them up. But nice big car. Noticed it there. Yeah.
There's a little lever right on the far left-hand side there. Is that the handbrake?
Where's that?
That little square lever?
No, that there.
Yeah.
That's a foot brake.
Oh, okay.
We call it a handbrake.
Yeah.
That's a foot brake.
Okay. So you push it in, and you've got to push it
Push
again.
it in, and then pull the lever, and it opens, and it's
It releases. Yeah, awesome. And the little side light here, that's just the indicator.
This has got electric seats too that goes back and forwards and all that, you know.
Right. This is an indicator?
No, that's like a park light at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it comes on, you can see where the door
Comes on when you put the park lights on.
Sure. Right. And where do you fuel it up? Has it got an interesting fueler? The fuel? Where does that go?
Yeah, where you fill it up. There.
Yeah.
This one, she was in Washington State. Normally I buy my vehicles in Oregon, but she was up in Washington State. That's why it's got Washington.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So, yeah.
A 1971 El Camino Ute.
El Camino.
Yeah. And I got to say that canopy on the back just makes it look absolutely streamlined. Did that canopy...
That is actually a factory one from Gem Top in Oregon, made specially for these this car.
Wow. And this is in New Zealand, or that's over there?
That's actually a Falcon.
Oh, okay.
And it fits it.
Yeah.
I made it to fit, so.
It just makes it I mean, this whole truck with its aerials and its lights and all the rest of it.
Well, it was actually my personal runabout for my factory when I had a panel beating and paint shop and trailer manufacturer and hire company.
It just looks absolutely
so
beautiful.
it was actually my sales pitch, if you want to put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
And people recognised it, you know.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, most of the El Caminos you see haven't got the canopy. They just sort of slope down.
They don't have the canopy. You can't find it.
Well, they look okay, but put that canopy on, suddenly it's a whole new vehicle.
Yeah. Actually, that canopy is a story on that. I chased around all the canopy places in Portland, Oregon to try and find this when I brought it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was at a car show, and I was talking to some of my Pontiac friends, and they said, "Oh, didn't you buy an El Camino?" I said, "Yeah," and they said, "Oh." One of the guys used to have one, and I said, "Oh, he didn't have a canopy." He said, "Yeah, it's sitting in his back garage." So I went around and I managed to buy that canopy, put it on the ute, and you wouldn't believe it. I only paid $100 American
Really?
for the canopy, and yet it makes the vehicle.
Certainly does. Absolutely does. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, we'll see what you've got in the shed over there. What I've got here is a copy of Talking Trucks. This is a book I wrote a couple of years ago, and it's the history of New Zealand trucking, and it's all from the programs that I did between 2013 and 2016. I'm going to let this go for $25, so it's a special. So if you'd like your copy, there's my phone number, 027 277 0717. Just send me a text or email me, billhoheper@extra.co.nz to get your copy. $25 and the history of New Zealand trucks. The second Wheels at Wanaka event is on this coming Easter in 2021, and that's on Saturday and Sunday the 3rd and 4th of April. They're planning a bigger and brighter event with more vehicles and machines working as well as on display. Cars, trucks, tractors, traction engines, scrapers, dozers, graders, the lot. If it's got wheels, it'll be represented at this amazing event. They're having an earth moving only day on Good Friday the 2nd of April, and there's a $10 entry for this. So go to the webpage www.wheelsatwanaka.co.nz for more information. We'll be there filming the event, so we look forward to seeing you there. I've got a couple of free tickets to give away for this event. To go in the draw, just text me on 027 277 0717 with your name and address, and I'll draw 2 names out and let you know who the winners are in next week's show. So good luck, and a big thank you to the event organisers. Gavin, this says Fury, and as I was saying about the muscle cars having Barracuda, you know, and these different sort of vicious sort of names. This one is a Fury, and again it's got a massive bonnet, 2 seats, a back seat you can put everybody in, and a boot and a huge wheels at the back. So how did you get this?
This is another one I found on the side of the road.
Okay.
And believe it or not, it was, I got told it was actually a mufti car for one of the police departments over there.
Oh.
And I can understand it because when you lift the bonnet, someone has put a big carb in it and free flows and a cam in it, and it goes like stink.
Wow.
You put your foot down and it really moves.
Sucks you back into the seat.
So I can understand it. If it was a mufti car, yes, it could be, it could not be. I don't know. You get told a lot of stories when you buy cars over in America.
So when you, can I just put that down?
Yep, put that down.
When you read stories and see movies about American police cars, there's something called a Ford Victoria.
Oh, that's the genuine one, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's true.
That's true.
Oh, yep.
The Victoria is actually designed for American, the police department. They used them everywhere.
Oh, right.
In fact, actually, there's a Crown Victorian over there in the corner.
Oh.
That's a station wagon, but that's the same front as what they use on the car.
On the police car. So they've got a big star or something stuck on the door and lights on the top, and off you go.
Yeah, well, they do that, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But this, as I say, this one is quite a good one. I managed to get it at a pretty right price. It goes very well. The seats are good. You know, basically body-wise, there's a few dents around it, but that's about it. The vinyl top's good.
When you first sat in something like this, what did you, were you thrown away with the, you know, sort of going, wow, that's a bonnet?
Not really, because I've been used to American cars for a long time. I've been working on them since sort of yonks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've sort of had a passion for them for a long time.
So if I come out of a Morris Minor, you know, in the 1970s and into one of these, you just go, oh,
wow, you would be
blown
amazed.
away,
Yeah.
Absolutely blown away with the size.
Because there's no doubt about it, but when you put your foot down, they respond.
So if you come up in front of a car in front of you, you'd have to sort of judge the distance between you and the other car.
When you're driving left-hand drive vehicles in New Zealand, you've really got to know what you're doing, and you know, you just don't be stupid with it, you know, because they are a wee bit different to drive here.
Sure. Of all your American cars, which is your favourite?
Well, in a lot of ways, I suppose, in a sense, my Trans Ams, the El Camino, and probably the big red Lincoln. Because the big red Lincoln is just something different. There's no doubt about it.
So you love getting in it, and away you go.
Well, the point is it's designed for travelling. I haven't travelled too much in New Zealand with it, but I must admit I've been around in the Trans Am and the El Camino quite a bit. And one of my friends came over from Oregon, and then we went right down south in my Trans Am, and the first thing he wanted to do was drive a left-hand drive on a right-hand drive
road.
So I found a quiet road and let him do it. He was happy.
Fair enough.
Because he's never driven a left-hand drive on a right-hand drive.
Or vice versa, I
suppose. Vice versa.
Yeah. I know when you cross over from England into Europe, which is left-hand drive, England's right-hand drive, so you've got to do the opposite, I suppose. Trying to drive a right-hand side car on a left-hand side, left-hand side. So I think what we should do just to finish, Gavin, is have a look at one of your Trans Ams.
Okay, all right.
Gavin, all your cars have taken on aspects of all your other cars. The sloping boot, sort of smooth across the top, huge bonnet, great big V8. And this is a target top. These
tops come off. You just take them off. They virtually, you just undo a little there, and you take the whole lot off.
Oh, okay, and it really looks the part with going along with.
And you just put them back on, click it back in,
shut the door.
That's it. You know, and you can run around like a convertible.
Yes.
And these actually go into a leather pouch in the boot, in the trunk. We call it boot. It's trunk over there.
Yeah, fair enough.
This was, this is what they call an anniversary Trans Am. They were built in 1984, and they only made 1,500 in the world.
Really?
Yep, that's all. They're all numbered, and they were actually basically had the Corvette running gear in them, and the Recaro seats, which is, they had a 305 V8, which is not a big V8, but it's a high output one. They have a computer chip in it, and it makes it go. And they do haul backside.
So what did Smokey and the Bandit have?
They had the 400 or the 6.6 carbureted one, and the Smokey and the Bandit, they were pretty good. I've had a couple of them, so I know what they're like. But this is actually a more of a goer. You know, it goes around corners very fast. It goes quite good.
So is this in competition to the Mustangs?
Basically, they were brought out to the Camaro, the Trans Am. The Trans Am is the top of the line of the Pontiac line.
Yep.
And you know, they were good cars.
And you've had an association with Pontiac all your life?
Yes, I learnt to drive in a 1929 Pontiac. I used to take it out down the drive without my mother or father knowing when I was 14. And,
as you did.
And as I say, when Dad and Mum found out, they made me get my licence when I was 15. And yeah, so I've had a relationship with Pontiac for a long, long time.
Good on you.
And I just feel it's a nice car. It's always been good. And one day I was actually with my friends over there, and I managed to buy another one. So I've got another one sitting over there, exactly the same.
Sure.
So
exciting. Can we start it up?
I think it will start. I don't know. We'll try it. We'll see. I think it will start. You want me to take it out? You want me to drive it out?
Oh, yeah, yep. You've got a big hat on there, Gavin, and you went in there, hat and all.
Yeah, I like my hat. I'm a wee bit of a cowboy now. I think I've been born in the wrong era.
Fair enough. Need a 6-gun. Anyway, Gavin, thank you very, very much. Absolute delight, and you must be very proud of your collection.
Well, I think actually everyone's passion is good, and whatever they do, just put a bit of effort into it and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And that's all. I mean, we can't take it with us, but we might as well enjoy it while we can.
Good on you. And it's guys like you that, you know, preserving history. Just by
well,
doing
basically
what
these cars, I hope, will carry on somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Unless they make us all go electric and we have to bury all these cars.
I don't think that will ever happen. I think there's too many people who've got their own special ideas of cars, and it doesn't matter whether they're Japanese, European, American or what. They'll all be good.
Excellent. Good on you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill.
There you go, folks. Gavin and his collection of American cars.